Good evening. We are back and we are live. Yes, it's still the Winning Parenting Battles Conference by the Visionary Parent Academy. We are back. Our second and last session for today. We are having the beautiful Coach Dumebi, a parenting expert, UK-based parenting expert. She is going to be sharing her practical story, her real story, and sharing with us how we can navigate for parents who have jackpot, who are in the UK, and parents who are intending to jackpot. You are going to be learning today. You see all those your fears about raising your children abroad and all of that. She is going to bring her expertise and also her practical experience to teach us what to do, how to do, and all of that. I hope you are ready with your writing materials because, as usual, yours sincerely is ready with her writing materials. Thank you so much, ma. I would like you to start by introducing yourself. Give us a bit of about you so that we know you better. And if you are just joining us, what you want to do is actually to copy the link of this video and share. Please share, invite people because she's about to teach us a lot of things. We always have this fear about raising kids abroad. People get it. I see very many parents, they say, they traveled abroad because of their children, to give their children a good life or a better life. And at the end of the day, they are not able to do that. So she's going to teach us some practical things today, how we can actually, if we go because of our children, how we can give our children better life that we said we are giving them, and how we can actually parent better generally. Thank you so much, Coach Jumebi. We are grateful. We are glad to have you here, and we are very grateful. We do not take you for granted. Thank you much. Thank you very much. So we'd like to know a bit more about you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to all Visionary Parents Academy. And good evening to myself because I'm part of the Visionary Parenting Academy, and to my able coach, my boss, my one and only. I thank you so much. I appreciate you for this great privilege and honor. Thank you for choosing me to do this session with you. I honestly appreciate you. Thank you for teaching me, holding my hand, holding me to teach me parenting. I honestly appreciate you, and I am so grateful, to have you in my life. And to all parents that will be watching, those that will be catching replay, I want to celebrate you all, to be here today or to join us tonight. It shows that you are intentional, because the truth is, it takes intentionality, to learn, to come and learn what it takes to raise a child, because there's a way to raise a child. And everything we'll be sharing tonight is part of our understanding how to raise a child, especially in diaspora. You know, raising a child, parenting is the same principle all over the world, but different methodologies. So we'll be understanding those methodologies of raising a child in diaspora. So, and most of us in diaspora, if you ask like 99% of Nigerian parents, why are you here? They will tell you, I'm here because of my children. I want to give my children a better life. I want to give my children, a future, all of that. I want to give them opportunities to fly and all. But at the same time, you see that most children, it's not what their parents wish for them that they are getting. And most of our children, we're losing them to social services. We are just, most of us are at the point of, or at the edge of, regretting, why did I have this child? Because of the issues, challenges that is coming with it. And that does not be, it's not because we're a bad parent or anything, but sometimes it's because we don't know how to. Like I said, everything we're going to be learning today is the how to parent. So join me once again. I say very big welcome to tonight, and it promises to be great, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. So welcome again. Thank you. So my name is Dumebi, like she said. I'm a mother of two amazing children, a boy and a girl, 5 and 4 years old children. Although my daughter will be turning 6 next month. And I'm based in UK, United Kingdom. I work with parents all over the world as a parenting expert. I am very passionate about parenting. I love it. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it. I help parents to know how to be a better parent for not just themselves, but also for their child, and also because parenting is first about us, the parents. So it's important we learn parenting because sometimes it baffles me when or how we go for, we do 4 years degree just to get certificate. We go to school, finish the degree, we go for masters, from masters we're doing PhD, just to acquire knowledge. We're doing online trainings, courses upon courses, just for personal development and to get better job. And the thing that one thing that is most important, which is parenting, we don't have knowledge to it. We don't do any training. Before we start raising our children, most of us we think parenting. Don't I've raised my auntie's children. I'm always with children, so it will come natural to me without realizing that parenting is not a born skill. Parenting is a learned skill. We learn parenting, and there's a way to raise a child. You don't just wake up one day and say because you've helped your neighbors to carry their children, and that is all there is to parenting. No, there's a way and there's a how to raise a child. So this is all I help parents to achieve, letting them know how to raise a child and how they can be best version of themselves and how they can see their children in years to come, and then they'll give themselves a pat on their shoulder and say, well done me, I have done well. My child have turned out well, because it comes with parenting, like I always tell parents, it's sweet, it is beautiful, and it's very fulfilling to see your child in 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 20 years down the line, and you don't have any guilt, you don't have any regrets, you are just happy, you're full of yourself, you know that joy that comes with it. So for us to get or to achieve that kind of result, we need to learn the how to raise a child. So that is what we are going to be talking today, and that is what I help parents to achieve. Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you. Thank you. She is based in the UK. So if you are a parent in the UK, you have not connected. Okay, you need to connect. Right now, I need to drop all the contacts of our coaches, all their link, their social media link, so that you can follow them, you can reach out to them. If you're a parent in the UK, please, you need to reach out to Coach to maybe if you have any questions, any struggles, you need someone to help you, hold you by your hand, you need to reach out to her. I tell you, she knows what she's doing. She's not a fluffy theory coach. She knows exactly what she's doing. Thank you so much again, Coach. Now, as a parent, as someone, okay, you had your children in the UK,
Just a minute,
right?
ma'am. Just a minute, ma'am. Can you please share me the link so that people can use it to join? Please send it to my WhatsApp. Hello, did you hear me? I can't hear you again.
Oh, I've shared it. I was saying that you had your kids in the UK. It's not like you jackpot with them, right?
No, no, I didn't jackpot with them. I had them in UK. I came single.
Okay. are you and you are now multiple. You are now double and multiple. Okay, I wanted to ask, what has your experience been as a parent, as someone that was raised in Nigeria, the Nigeria system, the Africa kind of, what has your experience been raising your kids there? The Africa parenting is a different ball game. We have our gbasgbos we do here, the quick hitting, the nagging, the yelling, the labeling, and all of that, don't caring about the emotional state of the child and all of that. And in a system where these things are very, very important, they care about the emotional state of the child. There is no much gbasgbola, it's not allowed. So what has your experience been?
Oh, okay. Like I said, I came single, and then I had my two children here in UK. But then I have always had privilege to be among children. I have helped my cousins, my friends, I see how they raise their children. I've worked in school in Nigeria before I came here. I've always been among parents, children and all of that. So I'll say I still have a sort of experience, or I know what it's like to raise a child in Nigeria and that of UK. So when I say when it comes to raising a child in UK, so the truth is completely a different thing. Yeah, it's a two different thing. And for here in UK, I'll say for my experience raising my two children, like I said, they are 4 and 5. My daughter will be 6 next month. So I'll say first is the support system I have. I remember when I had her, that's my daughter, when I had her 2019. My pregnancy was very sweet. It was very, not even headache. I didn't even have headaches, not even for once, It was that sweet. It was just I enjoyed my pregnancy. But when it came to, childbirth, it was a different, but it was a battle, So, and then like I was induced for like 3 days. There was no labor and all that. But at the end of the day, my daughter was forcefully, they forcefully brought her out. So, and then it led to complication. My high blood pressure rose, and then they needed to stabilize me before they could let me go. Ideally, if you give birth and there's no concern, no issue, the next day you are literally back home. But because my temperature was just up and down, it was so high at some point, it was just up and down. So they had to keep me. So I spent like about 2 weeks in the hospital. And I had my daughter 2019. I was in Manchester before then. I relocated from Manchester to Portsmouth in 2018. So I was like barely 1 year in Portsmouth where I am at the moment. So because of the good support system that I had, because ideally UK can be isolating, or it can be very private. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. So it can be
I can
very
hear you are
private.
muted because of the activities in my house. I can
Okay,
hear
okay,
you.
okay. Everybody minding their business, everybody just, just doing their own thing and all that. So, but I had to intentionally create a support system for myself. So those two weeks that I spent in hospital, it was this support system I had, that helped me. I remember my pastor's wife then, he made arrangement for some women, a group of women to be bringing food for me every day, not just food, but rich quality food that they were bringing. Even when I got back home, they were still bringing food, loads of gifts, money. Some will come and cook for me, some will do shopping for me. So I had people surround me. And also, when the first day we got back home from the hospital, when we were discharged, I remember because I had cesarean, so when we got back home, my pride carried my our baby. So he was at the no, I was at the front, so he was behind me, and then we're living along the road, like a busy major road, So, and then our box, like I said, I spent 2 weeks, so we had loads of things in the hospital. We had this very big Ecolas box, so we had loads of things, and then the baby bag. So he just dropped those things at the front of the house. Like I said, it's a major road along the road. So I was at the front, he was behind me with the baby. And then we went upstairs, hoping he would come back and take them. And before, in less than, let me say 2 minutes, he came back and the two bags disappeared. That sort of like, it got me thinking, it got me destabilized, like everything, our bag, like a lot of things, a lot of valuable things were in that bag, even their hospital card, everything, so many valuable things were in that bag. Like, why? I've just finished one. For me to come home and rest now, another one is happening. What's all this? Where do I start from and all that? But the support system, my parents, my mom was not around, but the phone calls, my sisters, they were not around then, but they would always call me, the friends I had around, don't worry, at least you have your child home, So all of those things, it kind of helped me. So I feel if I didn't have them at that point in my life, I think it would have been a different ball game. It would have been a complete ball game for me. Maybe I would have gone into depression or something. And also, another experience I would say is my children are a big grown now, but I am very intentional, in being involved in the things they do, in the activities, their day-to-day things, whatever they do. I am very, very, I'll say I'm 100% involved because from my involvement, me being involved, I get to know their likes, their dislikes, who they play with, how they relate with other children. And it helps me know when things, when they behave, when they exhibit some certain behaviors, that is not appropriate. Because I'm involved, because I see them, I'm able to address it appropriately. So if I'm not involved in all of those things, how am I gonna? So being involved have helped me achieve that, being involved, and also the cost of living in this country, in UK. I know it's applicable to other places in the world, but UK, it is stressful, very, very stressful. The cost of living is high and all that. And say your child, fine, a lot of people will say, but education is free. You people don't pay school fees. We don't pay school fees, but the other things that comes with it is a lot. Your child, you not say your child is in school, you not register your child for like after school club, that after school club, like all these other extracurricular activities like swimming, gymnastics, ballet, and all of that. So for me, I would say having and then also having the understanding that all these extracurricular activities is very important. So even if paying for them, even if I'm not paying so much, I'm not doing like she only attend one after school club because I just feel she just 5 years, so she doesn't need all of those too many. So I had to intentionally choose what is age appropriate for her and for my son that is in preschool. I'm not doing everything like some other parents will be doing their child football. This one, they are doing everything, literally everything. And at the end of the day, it's putting them under pressure. I am not under pressure to put them in all the activities, but one thing is sure that I'm going to put them in. So I set my priorities right in terms of what do they need per time, because I understand also the importance of windows of opportunities and sensitive period for them at this stage of their life. So I'm not going to say because the cost of living is high, I'm not going to do what I need to do for them. So understanding that has helped me to know to live within my means at the same time, helping them develop, meeting their developmental needs or develop at every stages of their life. Like they do the basic things, like they do swimming, they do like drama and all of those things. So it's part of my intentionality have helped me without putting me under pressure to know what they need at every point in their life. And I would say it's
Yeah.
helping, and we're fine. We're not pressured. We're not living above our means. We're just cool. And also, I would say, and also like understanding, also part of my experience is my self-care. I remember when I had my daughter, everything was just centered because she was my first child, and then I would look forward to having her. So everything was just centered around her. I would spend loads of money on her. And then I wasn't really spending on myself until I just realized me too, there was me before her, so I had to start balancing it. And even with their extracurricular activities they do, I have to put my own self-care into place because sometimes you take a child to swimming before you know you're spending like 2 hours, 3 hours. Like today we went for a drama session. We spent from half night till like half 12. That's like 3 hours alone already. That 3 hours, if I spend it on myself, I know what I'll achieve. If I use it, sit down to create content, I know the kind of quality content I'm going to create. But I did not say because it's taking my time, I will not prioritize my needs because I also understand what's it called? I also understand my season of life. I know that there's I can't do too much at this point of my life because of them, even if I'm still going, but it can't be like when they are grown. I know that there's time for me to chase on my dream, do everything I need to do. So understand. So putting my self-care into place, understanding that even me too, I still need to look after myself. Sometimes when I'm pressured, I call people like my friends, their godmother and all of that. Please, can you help me look after these children? So I put myself into consideration. And also I've told myself, like Golden is starting school September. Once he's in school, I am going to register for swimming. They too, they are doing swimming and they enjoy it. They have fun. Me too, I want to have that fun. So my self-care is also very important to me. I don't want to play with it. And sometimes I just want to sleep. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be all by myself. So understanding all of this, because if I don't put myself into consideration, if I don't look after myself, how am I going to be in a better place sleep yesterday. It affects my parenting. And I remember when I first started, I started my YouTube channel last year, May, right? And I realized, that YouTube channel, if it stressed the life out of me. I'll be awake all night, learning editing, looking for one content or the other. It was just so frustrating and it was a lot. And then in the morning, because I was already awake all night, in the morning, I'm not myself. I'm just stressed mentally, physically. My eyes were always red. Any little thing, I'll just react instead of, responding. And I realized it was affecting my parenting, it was affecting my children because I was no longer having time with them. I was not spending quality, even if I was at home, but I was not really there anymore. I wasn't spending time with them. It was just more of my YouTube video, or sometimes I'm just 247 on my phone checking for who have viewed the videos I've uploaded for like 2 weeks. Maybe I'll check, I'm seeing one video or two view, you know. So, but immediately I had to sit myself down. Like as an intentional parent, for an intentional parents, you always have, every time now and then you reflect on your parenting, you reflect on your life and everything. So during that course of reflection, I realized, if I carry on this thing with this, it's going to affect me in the future. So I had to put an end and then re-strategize what to do and how to do. And now I'm sleeping well and I'm still doing my work effectively, and I'm still having time with them. I don't need to raise my voice and, get over them anymore. So putting my self-care as a priority, it has helped me greatly. It's one of the experiences I've had here in the country. Thank you.
Oh, you are able to balance it. Yes. Yes, parenting is beautiful when you're able to balance it. And you also talked about support.
Mm,
Coach Ngozi that came on the
yeah.
other day, a coach in Canada also talked about support system. And I hear a lot of Nigerians, they will say, oh, Nigerians in the UK, when they see each other on the road, they pass, they don't greet, everybody just minding their business. I think, no, when we are able to, we still need to be able to access that support system. It will help. Thank you. Thank you.
Because it's
Okay, I want to ask.
the country, sorry, the way the country is wired, if you're not intentional, you can just be, everyone is just minding their business. Everyone, maybe someone is
Yeah.
just rushing to, is this someone that is rushing to catch their bus or catch their train or that is starting work maybe like 8 o'clock and is about to miss his train that will have time to. So there's a way the system is wired. So if you're not intentional, you might just leave that system and
Yeah. If you are not intentional, if you are not intentional, the system might just
yes,
swallow
and
you.
yes,
I get what she
absolutely.
means.
And yes.
Okay. I was going to ask, what is the major difference between what differences have you noticed? Because some of the things you just talked about, your children in clubs and all of that, I have
Mm,
relatives in the US, and some of these things for them, extracurricular activities for them is free. It's free, really. They don't pay extra for it. So I just had the
really?
mindset that maybe places like UK or something. I don't know. Maybe it's particular. I mean, the particular one they have access to. I know that my niece, for example, there was a time she was into this club, and they even gave her a laptop and a lot of things like that. So I just had the mindset that maybe countries like the UK, they also do that. Okay, now I know better.
Mm,
Okay, so
it's
what
not free.
major
And
difference do you
it's
notice when
free.
it
They
comes
would
to
have
parenting?
added it to your
What
child's school
may,
base. It's not free.
maybe
They would
really.
have added to your child's
Okay,
school
so
fees or
what
something.
I want to
They'll
ask,
be
what
paying you directly.
when it comes to
Yes.
parenting, as a parent that was born and bred in Nigeria, what major difference have you noticed? No, you may not have started raising your kids. They may have had them there, but you've noticed parenting patterns in Nigeria. What is the major parenting pattern? Will you say you have noticed the difference?
Yeah, first I'll say yes, like I said, is two different things or two different words. So for Nigeria, raising a child in Nigeria or for parenting in Nigeria, when it comes to a Nigerian parent, or you see, we have this we are family oriented. Family is a core thing for us here. We are family oriented, we love families, and we also community oriented. We love people. We love people come around us. We are very welcoming. We have that welcoming spirit. We are very receptive. Unlike here, they are receptive, but with the reservations and all that. And family system, the community. Sometimes if you don't intentionally like my neighbors and all that, you just end up you don't even know your neighbors. You don't know your next door neighbor. So you have to be intentional before you be able to achieve. And also another thing I'll say is Nigerians are very, when it comes to raising a child, education is a priority for them. These high expectations for their children must be scholars. If your child is studying and your child is not having all the A's parallel, for a Nigerian parents is a no-no. A Nigerian parents would spend anything within their power to make sure they give their children the best of education. Say, for example, my father did not go through the wars of education, but he has 4 children, and 3 out of us are already master degree holder. In fact, he's been every time he calls me, he always reminds me, go and do your PhD, go and do. I say, Daddy, I don't need PhD. The ones I've done is enough. Let me chase my career, you know. And this is someone that didn't go to school. An average Nigerian man or Nigerian parents, education is a big deal for them. Is a big deal. Our last child, our last born, that she's not had a master degree. She's not ready yet, so, and I think she doesn't want to. Otherwise, she would have gotten it long time ago. So that's it. And you see Nigerian parents, like the GCSE, or they want to go to, many parents want their children to get into grammar school. And if the child maybe does not qualify or did not qualify, a Nigerian parent is ready to pay it's like private school, to pay the tuition fee just for the child to get into it without minding what it will cost them. It's a Nigerian parents, you will see their children have gone to school in the morning, come back like 2:40, 3 something. They eat quickly, sharp, sharp. Some they will eat their breakfast and their lunch in the car, and immediately they are getting home. Another lesson teacher from Nigeria is sharp, sharp online. The child is sat down for like 2 hours again doing another. They'll finish that, they'll do homework, another extra. It was just so. Education is a big deal for a Nigerian parents. A Nigerian parents want their children to just, unlike here, a child can wake up and say, Mom, I don't want to go to school, and there's no big deal. There's nothing will happen. The child will be okay. Or I want to do maybe vocational training or apprenticeship or something. It's fine with them here. But in Nigerian parents, you'll not say Nigeria is in this place, you see, maybe like I know of someone, the father is a military, yes, is a military man, highly ranked. The mom is a nurse, a midwife, highly ranked too. But the first child, if I tell you what the child is doing, is a cleaner. And it's not like cleaning or maybe like having all this contract. It does like 20 hours in one school like that. And then she has like 2 or 3 elderly women that she cleans their home. That's it. She's contented, she's happy. But a Nigerian woman, a nurse, and the child is doing, is it will be like a taboo abomination. They will fight it with prayer, everything. So it's a no-no when it comes to Nigerian parents. Education is, but sometimes it baffles me. It's good, it's a very beautiful thing, but sometimes the extent at which we get it or we do it, sometimes I feel it's too much. Like before my daughter turned 5, a lot of people were, let her do coding. Is she not doing coding? It's as if coding is, there's something like if your child does not do coding or is not doing coding, there's something that's going to happen or your child is not complete. I'm like, I can't sit a 5 years old on the screen to be doing coding. What's she learning? What does she need? That's not what she needs for now. She's 5 years old. Let her enjoy her early childhood. Let her enjoy it. There's no rush. We have 0 to 18 years to achieve everything we want to achieve. For now, I'm sorry. Even if it's free, I am not interested, because that is not what she needs. But many people, that is not it for them. You must be coding, your child must be playing football, and not just, you must be a scholar in whatever you're doing. If you're not doing it, there will be a problem. And also, we believe in religion as well. Religion is a big deal. If you're a Christian, you're a Christian to the core. If you're a Muslim, whatever you believe is a big deal for you. And sometimes we overdo these things. You see a child, and you're doing it, you're going to church every Sunday, you are dragging your child, you're literally, forcing them to go to church with you. You don't mind or you don't care whether they know God for themselves, whether they're even born again, they've accepted Christ. But for all of those things, it doesn't matter. As long as they are following to church every day, they are carrying the big Bible, they know how to quote Genesis to Revelation, that is all matters. So for a average Nigerian parent, religion is a big deal for them. Why over here, religion, here they go to church, the ones that believe in God, they go to church, but it's not really a big deal. Sometimes when you go to church, you hardly see their children are not there. There was a research that was carried out. There was a program they did in my daughter's school. Was it last year or 2 years ago? And why did they carried out research before they initiated that program? Why? Because they realized that in years to come, when the OGs, when they die, there will be no young ones again in church. And if you go to churches these days, you see that it's more of ODs, our mothers. You hardly see young, very few of them. So because of that, they initiated that program. So every Tuesday, we the parents will come to spend an hour. What do? We talk about God. They give us book that we read to our children just to start teaching them about God and, just start catching them young and all that. So just that was that initiative. But here, if your child wakes up and say, I don't want to go to church, there's nothing will happen, no cause for alarm. They will still accept it. So Christianity is not like a core thing for them. So that is it. And then over here, so I'll notice that children's voice is very important. Unlike where we're coming from, fine, they encourage children to speak up, they encourage children to report all of those things, but sometimes a child will speak up and nothing will happen. If the other person is influential, is wealthy, highly connected, everything will be swept under the carpet. But here, whether it's a child, whether your parent is one minister or not, as long as you have spoken up as a child, your children are vulnerable, so they see them as they don't agree with what a child says something, whether it's even joke or not, they will look into it, they will report it, they will investigate it. And once they carry out investigation and see that that thing is true, they will carry out legal action about it, over it, unlike where we are coming from. So children, and here they encourage children to speak up, express yourself. A child is more emotional, a child is crying here. Nobody will neglect that child. Because I've worked in nursery and I work with parents. I am always with parents here, like every now and then. If a child is crying, the first, oh, are you okay? There's that connection, physical connection, and that cuddling and everything. Or like a child can be crying where we are coming from, and they say, why are you crying? You cry too much. And it's okay. Is it that small thing? No, that whatever that is making that child to cry, there's a reason for that child to cry. So what that child would have needed is, being emotional, just call that child, emotionally being connected with that child. But over there is not like that, unlike the way it is here. So yes. So that's it. And then okay, I've talked about cultural and religious influence. Yeah, so that's it. And then legal protections and social
Let's talk
services.
about.
Okay. Do you want me to go on? Okay. Legal
No, the child is
protections and
protected.
yes, a child is protected. Once a child is in a significant harm, the first thing is to put that child away from that environment immediately. Child protection is very, very important here. They do not joke with it. Once there's a disclosure about a child or a child is, maybe is in any form of abuse, they will carry out investigation immediately. Once they see, and when they're carrying out this investigation, police will be involved, other professionals will be involved, to look into it. And once they carry out and they see that something is wrong, maybe it's the parents or anything, that child will be taken away immediately. And whoever that is involved, you know, will face the consequence. Unlike where we are coming from, like, is there child protection is there and all of that, but the thing is, do they really carry it out? Is it for everyone? Is justice for everyone, or is it for certain kind of people and all that? So that is the difference.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about one other aspect of it. Let's talk about discipline. Discipline.
Okay.
Because I know that very many parents from this part of the world, our method of discipline is yelling, smacking, and all those drama. When they get there, they struggle. They struggle. So talk about their discipline there and give us examples of how you discipline your children, because children will always be children. They will misbehave. So how you discipline them, what
Yeah.
the system expects, and just talk, run us through discipline system, please.
Okay. So when it comes to discipline a child, for me, I believe discipline is to modify a child's behavior. Is for a child to meet your expectations. Or maybe a child is behaving in a certain way and you don't like that behavior. You want that child to behave in a better way. So that's when you use discipline. And discipline, if your discipline is going to cause your child harm, it will make your child suffer. For me, I think that is not discipline. That is not discipline. So, and when it comes to UK, discipline, yes, that they say you can't smack your child, you cannot yell at your child, you can't raise your voice at your child, does not mean you cannot discipline your child. And that does not mean you cannot exercise your parental control or parental responsibility as a parent. You have the right to discipline your child, but your discipline should not cause harm to your child. It shouldn't make your child to suffer. And so, but for me, I'll say I'm not, if my discipline is going to make my child, is going to affect my child's self-esteem, I will not do that. If my discipline is going to affect my child's psychological, if he's not going to meet my child's three basic psychological needs, is a no-no for me. If my discipline is not going to modify my child's behavior, is a no-no for me. If my discipline, will not make my child to have self-control or to not improve his responsibility or discipline and not the responsibility, it is a no-no for me. So for me, my discipline, it must be, like I said, it would modify my child behavior. I'm not going to discipline my children because an adult is there or because I want to impress someone out there. I will now start humiliating or embarrass my child. No, I'm not going to do that because I know the importance of discipline in a child. And when I'm disciplining my child, I still understand that discipline has to be firm. You discipline your child as a parent. You are firm as a parent. At the same time, you're warm. You know, you're not just going to be firm, firm, firm or authoritarian parents. And then you see, that is it. It must be everything I say. No, when it comes to discipline, you sit your children down. Like that's what I do. I sit my children down. This is it. Like before the start of this term, or maybe last term she was in when she was in reception, she lost her lunch buses twice. They give them food Monday to Friday, free lunch. But for some reason, she said she doesn't like what they give them Tuesdays and Thursdays. So because of that, she goes with pack lunch, and she lost two lunch boxes. Well, I just overlooked it. That I talked to her though, but because of her age, then I didn't really use disciplinary measures. But immediately she entered year one, I told her, Money, I'm buying this lunch box for you. If you lost it, that means you have chosen not to have no, and I said, what is the consequence? He said that means she was even the one that came up with the idea. That means she will not have lunchables. I said, okay, that's fine. And I'm happy with it. And it was relatable. So I said, okay. And then after 3 months into it, we just realized on a Tuesday morning, we're looking for lunchables. We did not see it. We searched everywhere. She didn't find her lunchables. I was like, where is it? She said she doesn't know. So the funniest thing is she didn't know how she lost it, when and where she lost it. So like, okay, you know what the consequences, isn't it? She said she did not say anything, but you can tell she was not happy, but she was not crying. She was just fine. And she went to school. She was just okay every Thursday, Tuesdays. I was not stressing myself. I said, if you want to have anything, whatever you want to use to pack it is your choice. But me, I'm not going to stress myself and I'm not going to buy you another lunch box until next time. So she was always going to be happy. Sometimes her friends say, oh my, you didn't come with lunch box today. She was like, she's fine. She doesn't have lunch box anywhere again. But there was no form of maybe self-esteem or anything. She was just cool with it. But after like 3 months, 4 months, she came to me one day. She just held me, oh, mommy, please, mommy, I'm so sorry. you're also sorry for mommy, please. I'm not gonna do it again. I'm gonna be looking after it. I said, what? She said, mommy, please, can you please buy me my lunch box? Can you buy me lunch box now, please? Please, please. I'm not gonna lose it again. I'll look after it, I promise. I said, are you really sure? Are you really sure? She said yes. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you this last chance. So we went to the shop. She picked her another lunch box, and till date, she's been looking after it. She's not lost it. So that is how I carry out. And for me not buying it for that 3 months, it was relatable, it was respectful, and it was reasonable. I did not start telling her friends, especially when they would ask, oh my, where's your lunch box? And then I would not start embarrassing her. Oh, she has lost her lunch box. Oh, she's too careless. Or no, I did not humiliate her. I did not embarrass her. I just kept it. I'll just smile. She'll be the one to respond to them that she doesn't have a lunch box. And it did not affect her self-esteem because I did not humiliate her with it. You know, just 2 days ago, my son go in. Usually when they come back from school, after they are learning or whatever they want to do, they will have snacks before dinner. So he had 2 cookies. And the number was, I was telling Norma, say, go the one, you're not allowed. It's one, go the take one, you're not allowed. And because of his big mouth, he was saying, it's not your business, Oma. It's not your business. I can do what I want. I can do what I want. I said, really, Godin, you can do what you want. And then Oma quickly ran to me and said, Mommy, Godin is taking 2 cookies. I said, really? I said, Godin, are you allowed 2 cookies? Is it? I said, why are you having 2 cookies there? They said, because I want it. I said, if you want it, that means you have chosen not to have cookies the following day. That means you are having the one you're supposed to have the next day for today. It's your choice if that's what you want. And the next thing I heard was, I don't care. I said, okay, that's fine. And I didn't say anything. I did not exchange words with him. I didn't talk anything. I just left him. So the next day, when it was snack time, I said, oh man, go and have your snack. And he said, oh, mommy, I want snack too. I said, remember what you did the other day. Remember you had the yesterday. Remember you already had the one you're supposed to have today. Mommy, I'm sorry. I said, you are sorry. I don't have anything against you, but you chose to have it. Remember you told me you don't care. So, and then Omar had it. He didn't cry. He was not like rubbing himself on the floor, throwing himself on the floor, and he didn't play all of those tantrums. He was just okay. But after a few minutes, I had it, oh, please, can I have one, please? Mama, can you share your cookies with me? So that was discipline being relatable. That was discipline being reasonable. That was discipline being respectful. When we discipline our children, we shouldn't embarrass our children just because we want to discipline them. Like an incident that happened during the Easter period, there was this charity that organized Easter egg hunts for children. So we're all there, and so many other children were there. So all of a sudden, I was sitting down. So the children, they had like a paper where they were writing their egg and everything. So afterwards, they'll go to the organizers, they'll give them chocolate and some other things. So the children, so they were just running everywhere looking for the egg because they hide all the eggs and all that. So they were catching for, but all of a sudden, so I was just sat down waiting for them to do what they want to do. I was just saying, I was just hearing this cry, and I was hearing a voice, tell me, did you do it? Did you do it? I was like, where is this place? Where is this noise coming from? And then I turned, I just saw a crowd, and then a child was at the middle, like 7 years old boy was at the middle. And then I didn't even know if he was a father, but I knew a man was, did you do it? Did you do it? Tell me, did you do it? You know, I wanted to mind my business, but I couldn't stand the cry of that child that day. I just couldn't stand it. So I stood up immediately. I went, I said, oh, sorry, what's going on here? Uh, did you do it? I was like, excuse me, what's going on here, please? Can I know, please? And then the man was saying, did you do it? Did you do it? And he said, so he pointed at the girl and said, she said he slapped her. I'm like, oh, really? I said, okay, please, can I just talk to him? Can you give me a few minutes? Is he your son? He said, yeah. I said, please, can I talk to him for a few minutes, please? And then I told the other guy, I said, please, just give me a few minutes. I'll come back to you. So I pulled the child away from that crowd. I just held his hand and he kept, you can tell he was really pained and he just could not, he has gotten to that point that he couldn't cry anymore. So I just held him close to me. I just said, it's okay, you'll be fine. I just held him. So I took him to a corner, we sat down, and then gradually he was coming down. So when he finally calm down. And I said, "Are you happy to talk?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Can you talk to me? Tell me what happened. Don't lie to me. Just tell me everything that happened." And he said he was searching for the Easter egg. So it's a boy. So maybe accidentally the paper just touched the girl's face. And that was how the girl changed it, that he slapped her. And the father, without understanding or without even believing the child or something, or without even first sitting the child down to ask the child, was just, "Did you do it? Did you do it? Tell me the truth." That he was putting fear. That tell me the in crowd there was a massive crowd. Other children, what children are, some were already laughing. They just gathered. They just want to know and everything. The child, it put fear in that child, and it was so embarrassing for that child. So imagine if I was not there, it would have been too much. Because at that point, I not asked his dad, "Is it that you don't believe your child? Do you not believe your child?" He said, sometimes these children, but I said, "Is it what she's saying or what your child is saying? And even if you want to address it, why didn't you just pull him away?" Because asking him this kind of question in the presence of, he will not, even if he didn't do it or he did, he will not be able to talk. He will not be able to talk. You're putting fear in him. He's already confused, you know. So that was when he said, "Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much." Sometimes this parenting, sometimes we don't know it all and all that. So for me, that is not discipline. That is embarrassing your child. That is humiliating your child, because that experience, it was a trauma for that child. And if something like that goes on repeatedly, it's going to do a more damage to that child. It's going to be a big trauma for that child. So that is not discipline. We said discipline your child, but not discipline them in form of embarrassing them, in form of maybe hitting them, smacking them, and all of that. Because here in this country, smacking a child, raising your voice at a child is a no-no. In fact, it's not you can, you get punished by it. You get punished by it if you are caught. I know that some people still do it secretly, but if you are caught, you'll get punished for it, and that's the truth. And also when it comes to discipline, oh, sorry, let me just quickly pause. Yes.
Okay. So one thing I learned from what she's been saying is that you need a load of emotional intelligence to parent in that location. Just like Coach Ngozi said the other day, if you are not emotionally intelligent, you see what she has said, what she does, can't let the children face the natural consequences and the logical consequences. If you are not emotionally intelligent, you will not be able to get to that stage. You will not be able. You need emotional intelligence to be actually able to parent in that time. So if you are thinking of jackbarring or you are abroad, please, you need self-emotional mastery. It is super important. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you. You said if you do all that, let's say smack, yell, and do all that to your child, you will get punished by it. They are punished by the system, right? The system has a way.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yes. So, did you have any kind of experience that you can help us to understand this better? Any kind of experience that, let's say, a difficult time you had with the system, or personally, that you can help us understand it better?
Is it regarding to discipline?
Hello.
Hello, hello, can you hear me? Do you mean is your question regarding to discipline
Yes, yes.
or
Yes, talking about the system, you said if you do those discipline, those things that the system, what the system doesn't expect you, you can get punished by it. So I wanted to ask that, like, okay, let's start with what kind of punishment, what kind of punishment will the parents get?
okay? There was an incident that happened with a Nigerian doctor. I think it was all over the news a few years ago. So what happened was, he's a Nigerian doctor, and he wanted his son to be a medical doctor as well. So he always encouraged, like I said, we Nigerians, we have high expectations for our children when it comes to education. Some of us, we are doctors, we want our children to naturally become doctor. If you're a nurse, you want your child to become a nurse. Although the narrative is gradually changing, but some, they still have that mindset that they want their children to be certain things, even if that child is not wired that same way. So we had this doctor's incident when it happened. So because he wanted his child to be a medical doctor, so he was always encouraging child to read, study your books, take your books seriously and all that. So they had, I think the child had is it GCSE or something, but the child had an exam to write. So the child invited his friends to come have sleepover study with him. So which they came, but sadly or unfortunately, instead of them doing like the groups reading or group study, they were watching inappropriate content over the night. And the man, maybe his instinct just said, go and check what the children are doing. And to his greatest surprise, he saw them that it was not what they said they were going to do that they were doing. They were watching inappropriate content, and he lost his cool, and instead of responding he reacted and he beat the hell out of the child. And while he was beating the child, he was asking, telling him, is this how you're going to become a medical doctor? You have to be, you want to be, I told you you want to be, you will be a medical doctor. Is this how you're going to be? He just beats the hell out of the child. And the child's friends, one of them called the police, and when the police came, so they carried out their investigation, and children don't lie. They saw the marks, the bruise, and everything. So they realized really an abuse had taken place. And what did they do? The man was punished. I think he was sentenced also. But sadly, he lost custody of that child immediately because to them, that child is not safe. To them, it was a significant harm for that child. So if they don't act immediately, it might still carry on. So pulling that child away immediately from that environment was them safeguarding that child, because safeguarding a child is not just their responsibility, it's also everyone's responsibility. So they needed to safeguard that child immediately by pulling that child away, especially when the child said, he's always forcing him to read his book. He wants him to be a medical doctor when he doesn't want to be a medical doctor, when that is not what he wants to be. So they just felt, this child is not safe. And with the physical abuse and everything, so that child was immediately taken out of him. So that was how he lost custody. And we've had so many incidents where parents lost custody of their children. So many cases where they were there was one recently. I think the parent, they just came to the country. Inside the bus, he was raising his voice at the child. He was smacking the child. I think they were on their way to school without realizing she was even in the public, and it was the driver that called the police. And right there and then, they took the child away. There've been so many incidences of abuse. And when it comes to abusing a child, like I said, children, they don't joke with them because they see them very vulnerable. And sometimes it might not even be the child that will disclose, it might be your neighbor. Like I said, safeguarding the child is everyone's responsibility. Because if your neighbor sees it and they don't report it, and maybe the thing gets out of hand, or God forbid anything happened to that child, and they carry that investigation and they realize that it's been happening for a while, you, the neighbor, you'll be in trouble. It will not just be the parent that will be in trouble. You, the neighbor that saw it and did not report, will be in trouble. So that's why people too, it is their duty bound to report. When you see an abuse or anything that doesn't seem right against a child, you have to speak up. You have to whistleblow. So sometimes it's not even the child. Like a lot of people have this mindset: it's my child. I want to tell the school, or is the school that the teacher that is asking the parent the child, or did your mommy beat you, or did your parents beat you, and all that. It's like he's not the child. It's not the child, his neighbor, it's someone that has seen you somewhere, someone that have been observing you, that just reported. So a lot of incidences have happened, so that's how I work here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And again, I was talking about being emotionally intelligent. It simply means you cannot parent in such a place, you cannot parent in the UK. So if you have someone who is thinking of, okay, they want to go there, even for a visit, I beg, tell them they need to work on their emotions. so that at the
Yeah,
end of
very
the day, they say I'm going there to give my child a better life. And at the end of the day, that child they want to give a better life is taken away from them. Nah, they must work on their emotions. I know you've had an experience with social service. Can you please share your experience with us and the lessons we can learn from it?
okay. So from my
Would you
experience
like to
of
share it?
yeah, because of the nature of work I do, I hear a lot of things, parents say a lot of things to me and all that. So like I said, I always work with parents and I'm always in the midst of parents. So, and then a lot of incidences happens. You know, a lot of parents or a lot of people, they feel like social services, they are wicked. Their aim is to take your child away from you. You know, they don't like you. And, you know, there's a lot of misconceptions around social services in this part of the world. In fact, there was a time I was watching, I just stumbled into a video on YouTube, and the lady, I think she's in Nigeria, and then she was talking about social services. I just couldn't stop laughing. If you come to abroad or you are preparing to come to abroad, especially UK, you see, if you hear anything social worker, you have to run. They are very wicked. They will take your, you know, she was just advising, saying a lot of rubbish, a lot of things that were not true. And I was like, oh my God. And if you see the comment section, everybody, oh, thank you for telling us the truth. Oh, thank you for this insight. I'm like, insight for this rubbish or for these lies that she was like, and she was saying it with full confidence. She was not there, she's never been there, she doesn't know how it works. She just, so a lot of people have this fear. But the truth is, it is not always the case. It's not the case. A social worker, their aim, or social services, their aim is to protect your child from significant harm, is to protect them from any form of harm, any form of abuse. Their aim is not to take your child from you. The truth is, because they are parents themselves and they know the importance of a child being raised under the roof or under the care of their parents or both parents. So they know that important. They know the psychological effect it's going to have on a child. So their first aim is not to come and take your child away. No, that is not it. Their aim is to protect a child. If your child is in significant harm, their aim is to protect that child, is to take that child away from it. So when incidents happen, like one of the incidents, I investigated the other time, what happened, this young lady just innocently, she was ironing her clothes or something, and then the daughter accidentally, the iron accidentally touched the child's ribs. This is her ribs, isn't it? So accidentally touched the just very tiny injury like that. So, but she did, because according to her, she said there was no mark, there was no sign. So she just forgot. She just thought there was just nothing. And then the next day, she noticed there was a little blister on it. But she still didn't take it seriously. She didn't report it. She didn't take it any as serious because it was just a tiny blister. So, and then the next day was on Monday. She sent the child to nursery. She even told the teachers, see, this child have accidentally burned herself in case she burst it. Because the child was, children that was so curious, want to know what's in there. That in case the child accidentally burst it, they should just put plaster or something. So that was how before the child came, the child had plaster on it. So meaning the child has busted it. That was why they put plaster on it. And then the child kept messing about it. Children now, she just kept messing. And then before it was just a tiny injury because I saw it. And then it became so messy. So, and then after like 2 days, the mom was like, since you're messing about with this, come on, let me take you to a walking center. That's like, what they call it now? Walking center, what they call it in Nigeria, like clinic or something, so that maybe they will have a special band that will make them, that will help you, that will help to hold it so that you'll not be able to mess about with it. So that was the mom's intention, good intentions. So she took the child to the hospital, so the working center, and the doctor that's it was the doctor first. So the doctor what happened was the effect from the iron. So she was not comfortable. So she handed the child to another doctor, a doctor. So and then the doctor what happened, and then she explained innocently, truthfully, and the doctor was like, "Are you serious?" So that's okay, that's fine. And he asked the child again, and the child said, "Oh, I accidentally burned myself." And the doctor was like, okay. Before this lady go home, she got a call from the social services, talking about the issues that are coming to her house. And lo and behold, they came to her house. They came to her house. And before they came to her house, they have called the police. They have called her doctor, the children doctor. They have called the schools. The children attend two separate schools, like two different schools. They have called the schools to know how she relates, who kind of parent she is. The police to check if she had any criminal record or any safeguarding issues or anything, to check their record. The doctor to see if she keeps to her appointments, if they've suspected anything or such. As God will have it, when they call all of this, and she's very intentional, she follows me, she learns from me. I have worked with her so many times. She, the luck she had was they called the school. Oh, no, 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 she's not like that. She's a very intentional parent. They said good things. The doctor too, the same thing and all that. So the issue now is she did not report the case. That was her problem, or that was the mistake, or that was her offense. If she had reported it because it was a case of an accident. So when the social worker came, and then they was asking how did it happen, so she was explaining. They took her to the social service asked to see where the incident happened. So sadly, she was ironing. It was on her bed that she was ironing, in her bedroom. So the social service, the woman was like, okay. And while she was talking, she was just looking everywhere, observing everywhere. She finished, oh, can you take me to your garden? She checked everywhere, other rooms, kitchen, everywhere in the house. She was just checking, she was just noting and all that. And then she also noticed she asked the child because the child was a minor, so she didn't take the child away to like privately to ask the child. So she asked the child, "What happened? Can you tell me?" And she saw the confidence in the child, how the child, children, they will not lie. So how the child, expressed herself confidently. So and she was like, okay, without too much anything, she just said, okay, I know this is a case of what's it called? Accident. But and then she helped her implement like preventive measures, what to what to do, how to so that's it will not happen again. And before few weeks or thereabouts, the case was closed. So, but the lady's offense was that she did not report it, and that is why, or how many parents, why they get into trouble. They do not report it. So, although for this lady, she didn't know it was a big deal. She just thought, innocently, she just thought it was just a minor thing. And if not that the child was messing about with it, it wouldn't have been a big deal because it was just so tiny. I saw the injury. It was so tiny, but because the child was just, children being children, she was just messing about with it. So for her, she didn't see it as something serious, but she would have, no matter how tiny it is, she would have reported. That was what I told her. Even if in future anything of such happened, just report it. Once you report it, you save yourself, you cover yourself. So even when they come to investigate, first, you have already, done the right thing by reporting it. So um, when they come to investigate and then they will see that okay, this is mere accident, this is so they just teach you or tell you one or two things to do and that is it. They're not going to take your child. Even if they come to you, they're not going to take your child. And also what saved this lady was because of her intentionality. Like I said, so when it comes to parenting, she's very intentional with her children. The children were so filled with the social services. They were asking her questions. What have you come to do in our house? What are you doing? Yeah, they asked her questions, so they also observe the confidence in the children. A child that's a fearful child, a child that is not free, a child that is, you can tell when you see such. So with her observations, experience, she knew that these children, they were looked after, even the way they looked, the way they were dressed. And it's not as if they informed her, they told her they were coming so they know. They took her unaware. So meaning she didn't even like prepare herself, get herself ready, maybe tidy up or anything. She didn't get to do that. And she did not even know that they would look or maybe go around her house. So it was intentional, her intentionality that saved her from that trouble. But a lot of people have gotten into trouble just because they did not report it. So when an incident happens, the first thing you need to do is do not panic. They are humans, like I said, they are parents. Do not panic. They are not coming to eat you, but report it. report it, calm down, explain yourself clearly, tell the truth. There's no point. And some of us, they don't report it is because why they don't report it because maybe they've intentionally committed the offense, maybe raise their child hand on the child, or they so trying to cover it. That's why they don't report it. They want to cover it. They want to see how they can just manage it. And maybe in the process of managing it, covering it, there'll be a disclosure, maybe from the child, maybe from the neighbor, maybe from the school, maybe from the doctor or something. So once they get to know, they carry out investigation. And once they carry out investigation and they notice that that thing they notice that it's not a case of accident, and they notice that that child is in a significant harm. So their first line of duty is to take that child away from that environment, just to safeguard that child, just to keep that child safe, because safeguarding is keeping children safe from significant harm. So that's it. And there are so many cases. There was one of my, another friend. What happened? Her case was you know, accidents too, because like I said, we are humans. As long as we are human, accidents will happen. Accident is inevitable. Sometimes, no matter how careful you are, accidents will always happen. So sometimes these things we cannot avoid it. What happened? Her 2 years old child, wanted tea. So she used the electric kettle to boil the tea. And when the tea boiled and the water boiled, she poured the hot water in the cup, and then she turned to open her fridge to get the milk. She didn't know that the child from behind had gone behind and then pulled the cup, and then that was how the hot water all over the child's hand, you know, and it was a big issue. But when they came, like I said, they know when an accident, when a case is a case of accident, they know they are human beings, they have children, they know this is a pure accident, this is a pure mistake, this is not intentional act. So they know all of those things. And they know even when I went there, the woman just explaining to me, I knew it was a case of accident. How much more then? This is what they do on a daily basis. So they knew the woman was not in trouble. She didn't get into trouble. They did not take her charge from her till date. Her child is still with her and all that. All they need to just, put preventive measures. Today now she have a barrier gate in her kitchen. Whenever she's in the kitchen, she locks the kitchen so that the children will not be able to have access. We have another one, the other one too. I think it was 2 weeks ago thereabouts. She has finished cooking hot rice, and then the child said, I want, and then she poured just brought the rice immediately as it's put in the plate for the child, waiting for the food to cool, without knowing that the child has gone to. Then the process of carrying it, the thing poured on the child. All the child's stomach got gone and all that. So there's so many cases. But the thing is, when it happens, because it's inevitable, don't panic. Don't panic. They are not coming to eat you. They will not eat you. It's accidents. They are human beings. They have children too. Their aim is to protect you and your child. So they will carry out investigation. They will ask. And sometimes again, another thing I've noticed that put many parents into trouble is they don't know how to express themselves. Someday once they hear social service, they start panicking. And because they are panicking, they're not able to put their words together, they are not able to express themselves clearly. And because they are maybe modeling their words and then they are confusing themselves and then complicating themselves the more. So if you know that you don't know how to express yourself, or you're not very confident, you can get, if you have a friend that is very good at communication, you can get your friend to help you, express yourself. You can get, if you don't understand their English, you can get someone to interpret it for you. You have the right. So don't panic, report it. Like a case that recently happened. What happened? The children, they live in the same house. The other brother was, touching the child over the night when they're sleeping, because they all share the same room. And that's another thing again. Having, older children, like, your children, they're supposed to, especially when it's what's it called? Opposite sex, they're supposed to have separate room. So we understand cost of living is so expensive, but when they're of age, let them have separate rooms. But this case, they were all together. And then the older child, very, like, 5 years age gap between him and the younger sister. So at night when they're sleeping, he would just be touching the child inappropriately. So the child told the mom, and then the mom reported, because If she doesn't report, the child can tell the school or something. Like I said, safeguarding your child, it's not just your child's, safeguarding your child is everybody's responsibility. So if she doesn't report it and someone else get to hear it, she will be in a big trouble. So she had to report herself, like this is what is happening. And because she was panicking, she was tense, she just could not express herself. She had to get another family member, that could express herself, that could help her express herself, communicate. And the lady handled it. And as I speak to you, she didn't go to jail. They didn't take her child from her. The case is closed and all that. So do not panic. When incident happen, we are humans. As long as we are humans, incident is bound to happen. When it happens, do not panic. Express yourself. If you cannot express yourself, get someone that can express on your behalf, talk on your behalf, and report it. It is very, very important. Report it and do not hide it. Do not try to cover it or something or defend yourself. Just be honest and be open as much as you can. And once they come, they see, oh, it's just a case of, they will just give you preventive measures and the case will die. I have seen so many, I've experienced so many. So do not panic. They are not going to take your child from you. So be calm. So yes, that's it.
Thank you so very much, Coach. Thank you. It is clear now. I have clarity. I know one thing that, see, before you relocate, you must work on your emotions. You must work on your emotions. You must also work on your confidence to a level,
Yeah,
because you have
yeah,
kids with you. I know children will always be children. So as long as children will always be children, then you need to up your game to be emotionally intelligent, so that you are not reactive, you are responsive, and also to be confident, so that you are always able to articulate yourself.
yeah,
You're always able to articulate yourself, and you don't get yourself, you don't dip yourself fully into trouble when it's just supposed to be on the surface. Thank you
yeah.
so much. I'm not seeing any question here. Does anybody have any question? Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you. We appreciate you. Okay, what last word do you have for parents who are listening to us today? What last word do you have for parents who are listening to us today? What last advice do I need to, especially when it comes to, we always say we are doing it because of our children. I'm changing my environment to give my children a better life. I want my children to do this. At the end of the day, a lot of the time, you now realize, imagine that parent that was the doctor that was even hitting the child. I saw that video then. Imagine that. Now imagine the parent in the bus that was also hitting the child. And you said that parent just got there. And that parent now, and one of the reasons she traveled, she would say, oh, she wants to give her child a good life. And eventually, the child is taken away from her. What advice do you have for parents, either the ones who have jackpot or the ones who are planning to, so that they are not relocating because of their children and losing their children at the end of the day?
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that question. So I would say first, all of these misconceptions we have about social services, social workers, let's just scrap it and just trash them in the bin because it is their job is not to take your child away from you. They are not wicked people. They are not evil. They are your friends. They are there to protect your child and they are there for your child's safety. So their aim is not to take your child. No, no, no. They don't. In fact, before they will take your child away, they would not just come and even just take the through process. This country, they follow process, they follow protocol. You would have gone through process. And taking your child, it will be their final resort. Like they don't have any other option again. When they don't have any other options. And before they even take your child, they would have still look within your family. Let's assume your child is in significant form of abuse, in that home environment. They will check and they feel that child is not fit to be in that environment, they will check your own, they will ask if you have maybe like friends, family, or any other trusted. So if they see that there's maybe like an auntie, uncle, or relation that is trusted that can look after that child, they will give because they understand the importance of a child growing up, within father, mother, family environment. They know the importance. Like I said, they are parents too. They have their own children. So they are not just going to pull a child. They know the psychological effect it's going to have on the child. So they would do it. So saying social service and all of those things is not true. And also, so because of the country, the law system and everything, so a lot of parents, they are now becoming permissive parents. They are now exercising their parent, they are now delegating or handing over their parental obligation or parental responsibility to their children. Their children are becoming parents instead of them being the parents. You see a child, your child is misbehaving, you cannot control your child, you cannot discipline your child. Your child will say you talk on your child will talk 20, and your child, the one that baffles or that annoys me was you see your child, 5 years old, 7 years, teenagers threatening you that with police, and you'll be begging your child. As in, like, I cannot imagine how you got yourself to that extent or what went wrong. Children will be is in this country that I see that children will threaten their parents with police. And their children, okay, that's enough now. And then they'll be giving in to what their children want. In this country, you are a parent. God did not give you those children for me. He did not make mistake when he was assigning those children to you. He knew that you have what it takes to raise that child. That is why God assigned that child to you. So you need to seek knowledge to be able to know there's a way to discipline a child. There's a way to raise a child. That you are in a country where beating, smacking, yelling, raising your voice, even pointing a hand at your finger at your child, where all of those things is not allowed, does not mean you will not exercise your parental obligation, your parental responsibility. We saw the case that happened, was it last month or 2 months ago, where a child in London, because he was getting involved with crimes and everything, and the parents, they suspect that if they leave this child here, what's gun crime, everything is for teenagers in London. What did they do? They exercised their parental responsibility, and then they pulled that child away from that environment immediately and sent that child to Africa, Ghana, and then when the child got there, according to him or according to them, they said, and the child said they trick him, So and then the child filed um court this thing against them. And they went to court. And the parents, they won because in the court, they are humans. They have parents, they have children. They know what it means to raise a child in the way the child should go. So sometimes we just fear once police come to your house, your child call police for you. Once they come, they'll take your child. Police will take your child, or you'll be in trouble. Trouble for what? Trouble for doing the right thing. Trouble for raising your child in the way your child should grow. If your child turn out well, of which it will benefit not just you as a parent, it will benefit the whole society, the world at large. So not exercising your parental obligation or just leaving your child to do whatever they want because they said no smacking. You are doing your child more disservice. You are doing your child a big disservice because it's going to rub off in the future. It's going to do great harm to your child. So exercise your parenting. That we say discipline your child, but at the same time, like being firm, at the same time, be warm. There's time to be serious. There's time to say no. There's time to still, I love you. Like I always preach, I love your child, cuddle them, understand their love languages, if it's a show them all those love, tell them I love you 100 times. But that does not mean that you will not exercise your parental responsibility. That does not mean you will not be firm when you need to be firm. So let's don't lose our children all in the name of they said I should not smack my child, and then you're becoming very, very permissive. Most of the calls I receive, sometimes you begin to wonder, are they sleeping? Our parents, are they really sleeping? Are they really doing do they even know their rights as a parent? Be firm, but at the same time, be warm. Love your children. Train them. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. That when he's old, he will not depart from it. Because the truth is, you see that child, you're letting to do whatever he likes. You're giving in anytime they want. That child will grow up and they will still blame you for not training them the right way. They will still frustrate you even in adulthood. Because by adulthood, they will not realize all the damages you have caused. They will still hate you as a parent because you did not train them. Or you see the ones you are training, you are being firm, you are showing love. In adulthood, they will know and they will still come and tell you, Mommy, thank you for training me. My daughter looked at me today, and do you know what she said to me? She said, Mommy, I'm so proud to call you my mommy. That was what she said to me today. And he made me feel so good. It made me, and this age, I will discipline. I'm very strict, but that does not mean they know I love them. They know I love them. They know they're forever in my heart, and they know I love them forever. But when I need to say no, they know. When I need to be firm, I am firm. Because if I don't train them now, once they get to teenage age, preteen, it will be difficult. Is it when Golden is taller than me? Someone that will tell me I don't care. Is it when he gets to that preteen, what do you think he will say to me? So if I don't start it now, it'll be a problem in the future. So train up your child in the way he should go, that when he's old. And sometimes if you cannot exercise this brain, get people, get professionals, talk to people that can help you train them. Because that, like what we say, we need community to raise our children. You can't raise your child alone. And not the name of I don't want people to know, I don't want to tell people about my parenting and all that. You're just messing it all day by day, which is not ideal and it's not good for your parenting and your children. And also, I would say, let a child be a child. Every child is a child. Let children enjoy childhood. You see this, I don't want to say madness, this issue of, coding, footballer, every child wants to be. If you have a son and your child is not playing football, that means it's not a child, it's not, everybody wants their parent, their child they want to assign a footballer, lady footballer, and your child must do coding, your child must, after school do 2 hours, 3 hours, home lesson teacher from Nigeria and all that for a 5 years old child. I think that is not what that child needs. Let a child enjoy their childhood. Especially that 0 to 5. Let a child it's an early years for them. Let them enjoy their childhood. Let them enjoy their childhood early years. Let them be a child. Let them play. What that child needs at that point is not maths and English. It's not A to Z. It's not. They don't let them play. Let them play. Let them run around. They say play is the work of a child. The other day somebody was telling me, Golden, your son, he cannot read 4 years. I'm like, what's that? Where are we rushing to? We have 0 to 18 years. Why are we rushing it? Let him enjoy his childhood. Let him play. Let him play. By September, he will be in school. And before he turns 5, you will see that all those reading, all of those things you think he doesn't know now, he will know it because he's fully developed. By the time they start teaching him all of those things, because his brain is already developed, he has built the muscle skill, the fine motor skill, the gross motor skill, and everything. If they start teaching him, he will start grabbing them. He will start understanding them. He will not struggle because he's been developed already. So let's don't rush our children into adulthood, even with their dressing, the way we talk to them, everything that has to do with children. Let's take it a day at a time. Let children be children. Let them be children. Let them enjoy. A child comes back from school, and the next thing you are, sitting the child 2 hours is too much for that child. The child might be excelling academically, might be having all the A's, but how about other aspects of the child's life? Because sometimes I ask parents, have you all noticed that all the skills we all need in life, like if you check us as an adult, all the skills, all the communication skills, the emotional intelligence, all the skills we need, all of us, it is one skill, it's the same skill all of us need. Even if you want to be a CEO today, the same skill all of us need. So why are we not focusing more in developing our children to acquire that skills instead of just academics, especially here in this country. I don't know if it's like that in Nigeria. Here in this country is so competitive, high, there's so much high expectations for the children, in terms of their education. It's as if education for school is all there is to a child's life. If a child is not excelling, it's not, I didn't say there's anything wrong with it. So it is very good. I like the spirit, but the thing is, let's try and balance it so it will not affect these children, in the future. The emotional well-being too should be looking to other skills like their communication, their social skills, every other skills. Because like when we say raising children, we're not just focusing on one area, we're looking at other areas, raising children holistically. So let's focus on other areas so that we're able to raise a holistic child, and at the end of the day, like we say, parenting is not always about now or the future. So that in 10 years, 20 years, when you see your child, you know that your child is holistically raised and you see your
All
child thriving and
rounder. Yeah.
that that as a parent, you've done well, and then you
Thank
have
you
that joy
so
to say,
much.
yes, I have done well, I have done what I ought to do. And you have that
Thank you
peace
so
of
much,
mind.
Coach.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. She has gone beyond parenting in the UK and she has given us all what we need to know. I hope you took your notes down and I hope you are ready to take action. Like I always say, taking action is where you get the results. Thank you so much, Coach. And if you are in the UK, please, she dropped her community where she lives, her city rather. She mentioned her city. If you live in her city, I don't want to mention it again. If you live in her city, please, and you need support in your parenting, you need to reach out to her. You need to reach out to her. And if you have someone, a relative, a friend, or anyone who lives in that city, and you know that they need support, don't even wait for them to need support. Just talk to them about her so that they can get all the support they need, because we cannot do it alone, especially when you are outside Nigeria. You need Coach Ngozi the other day talked about support system, and she also talked about support system. So if you have a relative there, a friend who you genuinely care about, talk to them. You can have them watch this video so that they can follow her, and the support they need, they will get it. You can't raise your child alone in Nigeria that we are even communal, let alone in a foreign land that is more of an individual community. Thank you so much again for coming. Thank you so much, Coach Maybe. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. We cannot pay you for this knowledge. We cannot pay you. We just say thank you and God bless you. So if you have questions, leave them in the comment section, and then I'm sure she will check back to take the questions. I'll also check back and let her know she has questions. Thank you so very much. Whatever question you have about parenting in the UK, whatever, talking about the UK system, any question you have that borders on parenting in the UK, even if it's where to sell resources, because it also sells children's books. So if you want children's books, in the UK, you can also reach out to her. If you have a church, if you want her to come to your church to speak in the UK, you can also reach out to her. She is a parenting. What the books she sells are actually parenting and children's books. That's how much she cares about parenting. She sells children's books. So if you're in the UK, you want resources for children, you want someone to come to your church, to your children's school to talk, or to your African community there, or even non-African community to talk about parenting, Coach Jumebi is who you should definitely reach out to. She also has a book on breastfeeding, and she has another book that is in progress on structure. So please reach out to her, and trust me, you are going to get value. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. God bless you plenty.
You're welcome, ma. Thank you so much for
Thank
having me.
you.
I really
So bye
see these children,
everyone. So
they came to have hug.
and tomorrow we're having the last session where we'll come together and we'll summarize everything we've learned so far. So you definitely want to join us tomorrow again. Tell everyone you know to join us tomorrow where we'll summarize, and we'll summarize what we have learned so far, and then we encourage you to take action. Remember, this is Winning the Parenting Battles Conference, brought to you by the Visionary Parent Academy. And the Visionary Parent Academy is open for 2026. So if you want to join us, please leave a message. And I trust me, it's a vibrant community. It's a very resourceful and productive community, and you are going to get value all the way. Thank you so much, Coach Baby. Thank you. Have a fantastic night rest, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, ma. Bye. We have to open this. Yeah.